Hey guys, welcome to BP The Bible Perspective. Should the late Ravi Zacharias be canceled? Here's another question. Has God canceled Ravi Zacharias? Now before we get into it, please like and share this video and subscribe to BP The Bible Perspective. And as always, if you have a thought or comment, add it to the comments section below. All comments are welcome. Now, as fallout continues to fall over the revelations of the sexual misconduct of Ravi Zacharias, there are now those calling for his complete cancellation, that no mention of the man should ever be uttered. Is that godly though? I'm going to say this. I don't think he should be canceled, and I'm going to give you my reasons why. One, where is the mercy and the grace of God? Now, this situation is a little more complicated because Ravi Zacharias has passed away, and he hasn't answered for his sins, in that he hasn't either defended them, denied them, or repented or asked for forgiveness. But let's just consider for a moment those, and I think sometimes in the Christian world, we tend to be heavy-handed when it comes to dealing with sin. And we tend to overreach and go beyond what the Bible says how we should handle. Now let me explain, because I'm not in any way saying that we should excuse his sin. Right now it is confirmed he is guilty of sexual misconduct. And so for that should forever be mentioned with him in terms of as a part of his legacy. But now, does that mean that he wasn't who he was? Does it mean he wasn't who you thought he was before the revelations? Now, another thing is this idea that we should, again, destroy a person or erase a person. It's just not biblical. Now, let me give you an example. David was a man after God's own heart. Not only was he a man after God's own heart, even prophetically, he is the symbol of the Messianic kingdom. But he had a stain, a permanent stain on his legacy, when he committed adultery with Bathsheba, one of his loyal soldiers' wife. She was beautiful, and David lusted after her. And while Uriah was out to battle, David conspired. And this was his first sin. He got people involved in this conspiracy. Snuck Bathsheba into the palace, and David slept with her. Problem is, of course, with sin, you always don't consider the fallout. Bathsheba got pregnant. And so David conspired again. He pulled Uriah off of the battlefield where he was needed with his comrades, and thought, well, come home. I'll bring him home. I'll pretend like I'm interested in how the battle was going, and I'll send him home to his wife. Well, except one problem. Uriah was faithful and loyal, and he thought, how can I go home and enjoy my wife when my comrades are on the battlefield? Now, besides the fact, David, do you really think your plan would have worked? Do you really think that people would not have looked at the child and go, that's not Uriah's child, that is David's or somebody's? But anyway, when that failed, David conspired again, and this time more sinister. He wrote a letter and sent it by the hand of Uriah. He used Uriah's faithfulness against him. It was Uriah's own execution order. And because he was faithful, he didn't peek. But he sent it and gave it to Joab, the commander of the forces. Now, Joab was, of all men, one of the most wickedest men. He was David's nephew, but he was wicked. Of all people, you involve that man. He tells Joab to put Uriah in the front of the battle line and then withdraw from him. But because you involved the wicked man, Joab put a couple other people in there. So several people died that day. But those men would be charged to Joab's account. But nevertheless, it was because of David's conspiracy. God called it murder. Now here's my thing. While it is a permanent sin forever on the legacy of David, whenever we read about David, God says, this is what my man did. But God didn't cancel him. David was the greatest king. His reign was the greatest rule. Righteousness, excuse me, righteousness, justice before God. But he had that sin. And not only didn't God cancel him, but now prophetically we see that he is the symbol of the Messianic kingdom. Now I said that to say what? God is merciful. We could mention a lot of men in the Bible who sinned, who were bad, but God didn't cancel. Peter's another one who denied the Lord, right, to his face, but God didn't cancel him. My point is that Zachariah certainly sinned, and we should condemn his sin. And like I say, he's passed away. But consider this, before any of the revelations, he still was who he was. Great thinker, apologist. People by the millions learned and were blessed by his ministry, his teachings. They were blessed by his ability to think. They were blessed by him as an apologist. He sinned. And as I said, we should forever mention that and not hide that. But cancel? No, I don't think we cancel. You see, here's the thing, people. We all sin. And I'll be the first to say, don't ever think that, I would never think that my sin is not as bad as his. Because to God, sin is sin. Consider Adam. Consider that all Adam did was ate fruit, okay, from a tree God told him not to. He didn't blaspheme. He didn't pagan worship. He ate fruit and caused all of this. Here's my point. To God, sin is sin in that respect. And so my thing is, has God canceled Zacharias? Think about this. The fact that the lives that God used in his ministry that changed people, does that go away because we cancel him? The answer is no. It doesn't go away. So my point is this. I don't think we should cancel Zacharias. Yes, he should be condemned for his sin. And we should forever tell the truth about his sin. But cancel? No. Because you know what? God doesn't cancel us. We are forgiven in God's grace. We are forgiven. So look, that's my perspective. And if you have a thought or comment, by all means, add it to the comments section below. All comments are welcome. Don't forget to like and share this video. And subscribe to BP, the Bible Perspective. Till next time, I'll see you then.